Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the latest release from League of Legends. This song is called Heartsteel. I have enjoyed every song League of Legends has ever put out. Arcane is one of my favorite shows ever made. The soundtrack and music from Arcane is some of my favorite music ever. Not exaggerating, so I'm always chomping at the bit to listen to a new song when it comes out, and I'm always happy to do a first-time viewing and as well as a musical and vocal analysis for you guys here. So that's what we're doing today. Guys, please do like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if I enhance your learning experience, if you feel like you learned something and gained appreciation for this song after I'm done with the video, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Without any delay, let's get into it. So something that's really interesting about animation, you have to imagine that like none of this is actually happening. It's all animated, and so all these sound effects have to be created and then perfectly matched to make it look so realistic. Like everything they're doing really does have like a physical manifestation of sound. You got to watch the whole behind-the-scenes documentary for Arcane called Bridging the Rift. That's all say for now, but just keep that in mind as you watch amazing animation. Is none of it's actually happening. These sound engineers and the people creating the sound effects have to make it believable, and it's just an incredible undertaking.
Two sides to a story, but they never tell my side. Never been the kind of guy to stay inside the guidelines. I know I'm the bad guy, I don't gotta ask why. If you try step to me, it'll be the last time.
Wait. Okay. As a bass singer, we have a bass voice lead vocalist, which is incredibly exciting because it's so rare to have a low bass voice in any kind of pop genre. This is awesome. So I guess the song called Paranoia. Our group is Heartsteel, Paranoia, featuring all these other singers. So you guys let me know. I don't know any of these artists. I'm unfamiliar with them, but amazing. Love to hear a bass voice in the spotlight. We have a very League of Legends style production background going on here with these crisp snares, with these distorted vocals, and already right in the drop we get, it's kind of trap, it's got some trap elements, it's got some kind of like light dubstep elements. Something I think the music of Arcane has done is it kind of takes some elements of dubstep, a much more niche kind of EDM genre, and makes certain elements and sounds from it a lot more accessible, like the bass wobbles and the kind of grimy, heavy sounds that don't always make it to the public eye. League of Legends as a record label, as a music label, has done that. They have brought those sounds to the masses, and people love it, which is very exciting.
Two sides to a story, but they never tell my side. Never been the kind of guy to stay inside the guidelines. I know I'm the bad guy, I don't gotta ask why. If you try step to me, it'll be the last time.
Oh my God, I love it. Listen to these distorted basses, these distorted drums in the background, and then he's singing around a G2, a low G for the bass voice. That's kind of where he's pitching this rap section. Oh, it sounds killer.
Two sides to a story, but they never tell my side. Never been the kind of guy to stay inside the guidelines. I know I'm the bad guy, I don't gotta ask why. If you try step to me, it'll be the last time.
Ooh, listen to those added vocals in the left and right ear. On that very last line, they have distorted, like pitched down, darker, kind of creepier vocals just for that last line. So you've got our lead singer rapper in the middle, and you've got these distorted vocals kind of happening left and right just on the last few words.
I don't gotta ask why. If you try step to me, it'll be the last time. I got dirt on my name, 6 feet in the ground. I got people in my past try bringing me down.
the production's insane, dude. Absolutely insane. So obviously we've got a lot of added hi-hat action happening here. We've got these more pitched snares and then these kind of pitched effects happening after the snares as well.
Don't gotta ask why. If you try step to me, it'll be the last time. I got dirt on my name, 6 feet in the ground. I got people in my past try bringing me down.
All those like crazy sound effects happening kind of in cohesion with the snare drum.
6 feet in the ground. I got people in my past try bringing me down. Say I'm losing my mind. I don't wanna be found. Grew up in the shadow, but I know they watching me now.
Great effect to have. Strip out a lot of the elements before changing sections. It just adds something new, and it gives the next section like a harder punch. Oh, I have this lovely little bug that's just flying around my screen right now. Hopefully you guys can't see that. But stripping the elements away so that you can bring them back, and it pulls the intensity down for a hot second so that you can bring it back.
I got people in my past try bringing me down. Say I'm losing my mind. I don't want
They do it there for a second too.
Grew up in the shadow, but I know they watching me now.
We're gonna go back. So we got this classic rev up of like kick, 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 and then kick, twice as many kicks, and all these elements pushing towards what we would call a drop in electronic music, especially in dubstep, where drops are particularly accented and intensified. Obviously beyond what we're gonna hear in this kind of more accessible genre, right? But just a kind of classic bridge section almost in this style of music before the chorus.
Up in the shadow, but I know they watching me now.
And a totally different voice. And now we've got a tenor voice, right? We just had a real bass voice on that rap section to start us. Now I have very much a tenor voice, and you can just hear how timbrally different these two voices are. It's always cool to hear two radically different voices back to back. So cool. They've got so much going on in these choruses. We got like this nice bass line. We've got so much happening left and right. Like there's this whole atmosphere of craziness that's really kind of mimicking, I would say, this kind of crazy cityscape they're riding through with all this action. That's kind of what's being paralleled in the music. Tons of like distorted pitched vocals way up and down, and just a lot of action. You can go through and listen, just like pick one element to listen to. It's always my suggestion if there's a lot going on. Go back, listen to the section over and over again, listen to each element, and you'll be able to listen back, 10 or 15 times before you catch everything. It's a good practice, and it helps you kind of just realize how much is going on with these producers and these sound engineers. And that's just the elements. That's not even figuring out how to mix them all together perfectly and like maximizing the headspace in the mix. It's like it's a science and an art at the same time. Again, they pull out a lot of elements aside from these cool drums happening around, which again, it pulls down the intensity just for a second. It kind of makes this moment of suspense before going into the second verse. It's a great technique. It's crazy. It sounds like it is not one vibe during the song. It sounds like it's like each new section is a totally new vibe, almost like a new genre. It's all connected enough, but it's like different songs happening back to back to back. It's pretty nuts.
They're praying for the death of a rock star. They talk about me, I forget to listen. At least I get the recognition.
The drums are much more subdued. Even the snares and hi-hat sounds are more subdued. We got this like this distorted, like almost higher pitched bassy synth, but it's like pretty distorted sounding. It all sounds like more kind of underground, this section. Super cool. Like there's been some hot EQing to kind of taper off. It's called a low pass filter. You allow the lower frequencies in a sound to go through, and you chop essentially the higher ones. That's definitely happening in the snare here. So it doesn't sound as crisp. It doesn't sound as sharp. It's a much more like punchy snare sound.
They talk about me, I forget to listen. At least I get the recognition. Heavy way up all up on you with the repetition. You in the pit is not no exhibition. Oh, they big man, I'm the big.
It's like that, just like a perfect. They found a bell sound and it matches perfectly with the animation, so it really looks like there's a person there hitting the bell, but nothing's really there. Crazy, dude. Animation's so sick.
Petition, you in the pit is not no exhibition. Oh, they big man, I'm the big boss. Talk a big game, take a big loss. Growing up, I was a problem that they didn't solve. I'm the piece that wouldn't fit inside a jigsaw.
There are a number of these synths in the background that are, I think, really heavily distorted vocals, which is really cool. This is like Skrillex has got to be one of the first people to ever like take a vocal and turn it into like a weird synth line with just so much editing. It's really interesting, but there remains a unique quality to the voice that you can usually kind of tell. These are heavily distorted. I'm not totally sure, but there are some vocal sounding qualities to some of these sounds. Like that shit going on. Could be. Might not be. Could be.
I got a lot of punchlines in the quick jab.
Ooh, wrecked. Wait.
That wouldn't fit inside a jigsaw. I got a lot of punchlines in the quick jab. I'm running straight through. I don't got a zigzag. Got a heavy heart. Sort of live.
Another this bridge section where it's just like kicks and then like chimes and like higher pitched things, but it's very stripped down.
Take a big loss. Growing up, I was a problem that
This next section.
I'm the piece that wouldn't
2, 3, right here.
I got a lot of punchlines in the quick jab. I'm running straight through. I don't got a
It's so fitting. Look, okay, I was just gonna say it feels like he's like in slow motion. I wasn't even like really paying attention to the video. He's getting punched and it's in slow motion, so it's like he's like levitating in space, and that feels, compared to the other sections, like this musical section is like suspended and kind of in slow motion. So cool.
I got a lot of punchlines in the quick.
There we go. Here, so you guys can hear that transition again.
I'm the piece that wouldn't fit inside a jigsaw. I got a lot of punchlines in the quick jab. I'm running straight through. I don't got a zigzag. Got a heavy heart.
So perfectly done.
From the cradle to the grave, never change, make 'em dig that.
Perfect. Okay. Build up to the chorus again. I think the second chorus is very similar. I think the build-up was very similar, with the drums all contributing, drums getting faster, pitches ascending, synths rising. It gives a physiological response, even if you're not thinking about it. That's the kind of design behind a build-up and a drop, is it gets you. It's like you really are anticipating something intense coming. Cut it out. Yeah. A cool thing they're doing in the drums here is instead of or like the build-up is like that, but then in this chorus it's meaning it's syncopated, it's off beat sign. It's not just hitting 1 and 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. It's da da. Very cool. A great way to switch things up and to totally, again, change the vibe going from one section to the next. So listen to that build up. It's just like 4 on the floor, faster, faster, faster. And then it feels very groovy too. It's a groove whenever it's a little syncopated. No groove, no groove. Got the shit out and groove. Woo. That's fire. There's a little more going on in the latter half of that chorus compared to the first one. That's again some stuff that might be vocal distortion stuff, and then at the end we've got a nice, at least kind of gang vocal going on. I don't know how much harmony's happening. I wasn't really paying attention, but some kind of gang vocal, again with those drums hitting left and right at the very end of that section to lead us into this next section. Just keep an ear out for that. Yeah. Drums gone. They did something very similar in Gods, the most recent world anthem for League of Legends. In this section, it's a great thing to do in like the official kind of bridge section. Take away the drums entirely and just have a much more atmospheric kind of orchestral foundation. It's something totally new. You can kind of highlight the voices, and then you can bring back the other more intense elements for the final chorus and do kind of your biggest drop yet. And all this structuring of song is all like psychoacoustic. It's like, how do we maximize the reception of each section, right? How do we maximize the drop? How do we maximize the downtime during the bridge? These are all things you're thinking about, and shit, for these songs, you got to run them by great ears, great producers, other artistic admins. Run them by as many people as you can before putting it out in the world, because you want to know how people are going to receive certain sections. Like I said, you got to maximize it. So it all... And right, it almost feels like he's underwater. Then the drums come back, of course. Still pretty chill. You notice there's no groove. It's just boom, 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 boom in the bass, like that 808 kick. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We're not getting boom, 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 boom. We're not getting any groove like that. We're keeping it very cool. Again, focus more on the voices here in this down section and this kind of atmosphere they're building. Life we chose, life support. Need my silence, my privacy, so I can heal. And even rock stars got feelings. Now, what's happening here on this snare, unless it's just, you know, they have a million samples, they might have just found a sample like this, but it sounds like there's a high pass filter on this snare. So instead of cutting out a little bit of the high frequency section, I'm sorry, this bug is still bothering me. They've actually filtered out the low section, so you just get the higher, more like the higher part of the frequency spectrum on this snare, and so it sounds sharper, and you're not getting that punch, which is what you get with the lower frequencies. You don't understand the life we chose. My life support. Need my silence, my privacy, so I can heal. And even rock stars got feelings. See that? It's much more tinny and higher sounding. Another technique I want to point out. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. If you're still listening, you're probably enjoying the analysis. Some people are not here for it. If you're still here, right on. Learning is the shit. Learning about music and appreciating it. That's what's up. I was not expecting this last section during the bridge. It is a build-up, a much shorter build-up to the drop than we've heard in the past. What we do get is a kind of fake-out drop, though, right? So instead of hitting right on the start of the measure where you kind of expect that drop to happen, like they've done for the last two choruses, they keep holding the drums and bass for another few beats and then drop it. Really common practice nowadays, especially in dubstep. I just went to like the biggest dubstep festival in the world called Lost Lands, and all the producers are doing that. When you think the biggest drop is about to hit, they don't hit. They'll have like some something or like a quote or whatever, and then a measure or two later, they'll hit you with all the bass, and it's crazy because you expect it, and then sometimes they'll fake you out again. We're like, all right, here, okay, not that one, it's definitely this one. Damn it! Again, they hold you off and just like build suspense. It's great.
Need my silence, my privacy, so I can heal. And even rock stars got feelings that they feel in reality. Just repeats like a drill.
Right here. Nope. Oh, that's nice. So also, you know, like double the length of the final chorus is also pretty common practice in pop music because it's still hype. People are down to listen to it. Extend that final chorus. If you put in a mix or a DJ or something, it's a great time to transition out of it to another song. The main element we have is there's a little bit of riffing and what sounds like ad-lib vocals happening in the background above all this, kind of like a descant in like a church choir setting. We've got the foundation that you've got singing above it. We kind of have a little bit of that. It's very well mixed in. That's the main element that's different in this final chorus. Otherwise, it's pretty similar to the first couple choruses. Yeah. You listen to that. So sick, dude. It's seriously a dream of mine to have some kind of collaboration with League of Legends, whether musical or, you know, whether one of these analysis videos. It absolute dream come true. I love this company. I love everything they put out. Would love to work with them in some capacity someday. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you're still listening, I guarantee you learned something about the production or the vocals or... God, I didn't even hardly talk about vocal technique. I got so wrapped up in the producer side of things. Usually I talk extensively about vocal technique and the actual vocal production and how it works. I did talk a little bit about the bass voice, but that was only because that was a very novelty thing. You don't hear that very often. But hope you guys learned something about the production side, especially how this arrangement was kind of put together. It's a very interesting arrangement. Despite being, you know, verse, bridge, chorus, long down section, final chorus, like pretty standard. The sections were all different. They were all different enough to where it stayed interesting the whole time. And it's a banger, like everything they put out. So shout out to League of Legends for another smash hit. I believe Sebastian was one of the songwriters on this. Sebastian worked a lot with Mako, or also known as Alex Seaver on the music of Arcane. They together wrote a lot of the pop stuff, and another Alex wrote a lot of the orchestral stuff, the really soundtrack stuff. Geniuses, modern day musical geniuses, all of them. Can't recommend that show enough. Again, go watch Bridging the Rift, the documentary about Arcane. If I haven't linked it yet, I'll link it here. Just unbelievable. Absolutely stunning to see how it all came together. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Like, subscribe, leave a comment for the algorithm. And if I brought joy and learning and education and entertainment and all that to your listening experience, please do consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month and with a bunch of benefits as you go up the tier ladder. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.